Hello, all of you bold, beautiful, brilliant, and highly evolved souls. I'm Davina, and today's topic is disorganized attachment. If you know a little bit of attachment theory, you'll know that there are some different kinds of attachment. And of course, there's secure attachment, and that is when a child becomes securely attached to their parent. And I read that there are 5 kind of requirements for this to happen. The first one being that the child feels safe and that the parent, they feel like the parent is keeping them protected, um, fed, warm, and emotionally safe as well. Number 2, that the child feels comforted, that they know that they can go to their parent when they feel sad or upset or frustrated or whatever they feel, that the parent is going to be that warm, open, inviting, and validating what they're going through and to support and comfort them. Number 3, that the child feels valued and valued for who they are, not for what they do. So the parent just delights in the child and their beingness. Number 4, the child feels seen and known. And this takes a parent who has quite a bit of a sensitivity and able to attune to the child and read their cues so that the child feels that this parent understands me and gets me and knows me. Number 6, the child is able to be themselves and also develop to their full potential. And this means that the parent provides that secure base, but also allows the child to go out and explore and be independent and have their own autonomy. So those are the 5 things for secure attachment. Now you're probably thinking, I didn't get any of those, right? And hence that's why most of us, and I believe that C-PTSD, and I've heard that C-PTSD is basically an attachment disorder. And I think many, if not all people who have C-PTSD also have disorganized attachment. And that comes from a caregiver who does not provide this secure, safe base. And the caregiver likely has unpredictable behavior. And the parent would be inconsistent in responding to their child's feelings and responding to their child's distress. So, sometimes maybe you get maybe you get a hug, and other times you get shamed. And then, you get maybe a little bit of kindness. And then the next time you're being invalidated or insulted. So it's this back and forth and makes it very confusing for the child. So the child has this instinct to want to connect to their parent. They want to go to their parent for support, for the security, for the comfort. And if the caregiver is giving these mixed, not able to always consistently support and respond in an attuned way to their child's needs, then the caregiver also becomes a source of fear. So then the child goes like, well, I want to be with, connect with my parent, but I'm also afraid of them. So it sets up a very conflicting situation for the child, and obviously really messes you up. So in short, they basically long for and also fear their parents. And so a parent, a narcissistic parent, is obviously in this category of inconsistent behaviors. And this also falls into like a kind of intermittent reinforcement. And I've done a video on that. You can check that out. But yeah, because again, it's this like sometimes they're abusing you, and sometimes they're being kind of a little bit nice or kind, and it sets the child up for also being an addict. So a narcissistic parent seeing a child in distress or seeing a child expressing emotion that's not happiness, or even sometimes happiness. But anyway, the parent might yell at the child. They might use fear and intimidation. They might shame and invalidate the child. They might mock the child's feelings or fears. They might also briefly soothe the child, but then they lose their patience, and then they start losing it. They start getting angry, and they start intimidating or shaming or invalidating the child, or just dismissing them because they don't want to deal with it. Or a parent might just plain out ignore the child, not respond to the child. So probably, again, like, you might have experienced some, or maybe likely all of these kind of things from your narcissistic parent or parents. And this is what causes the disorganized kind of attachment. And generally, a disorganized attachment means you have a negative view of yourself, which is the shame, and you also have a negative view of the world, which is the fear and the lack of trust. So it obviously sets you up for a very, very painful kind of existence when you're constantly in the shame and the fear. And in the disorganized child, they realize that they cannot depend on their parent. They realize that they cannot trust this caregiver to consistently meet their needs. And this is how the child has to live through their childhood. And so again, as an adult, you grow up and you want to connect. This disorganized wants to have connections, wants to have bonds, wants to belong and be loved. And on the other hand, they're very afraid of being hurt, rejected, and abandoned. So obviously makes relationships very, very difficult. So what is the solution to all of this? If you didn't have that kind of secure attachment, that kind of attuned, sensitive, respectful parenting, and a parent that was capable of being with you and holding your emotions and holding space for that and empathizing with you, if you didn't have that, this is what you can give to yourself. So it's the process of healing. A lot of it is becoming your own loving parent and, responding to your needs in a consistent way. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. But if you're, 80% consistent, or you're 80% attuned, that's probably enough. And if you make mistakes, it's just like regular parenting. Oh, I made a mistake and now I'm going to make amends and fix that. Like last night, I slipped into what is I commonly do, which is undereat. I still have a few of those kind of addictive things, under eating. And this morning I just, I came back and like, okay, I'm going to eat. I'm going to make sure, like, I was eating lunch at like 10:30 this morning, making sure I get that, full feeling, because that really helps me. So anyway, yeah, it's responding to your needs and showing yourself empathy when you're in distress, giving yourself compassion, doing all the things that your parents didn't do. So if you wonder how to be a loving parent, just do the opposite of whatever your parents did. So yeah, it's validating yourself, saying, yes, of course you're feeling scared right now. It's okay to feel scared. I'm here for you. Just really, and, holding yourself and hugging yourself and giving and noticing that what you're needing. If you go out in a crowd and you start to feel overwhelmed, well, maybe, crowds are not for you right now. Maybe you need some one-on-one. And your body will tell you, your body will tell you what you need and what is working and what is not. Because when you're getting, when your needs are not being met, you'll have all the, the difficult feelings. you know, the fear, the anxiety, or the shame. And you're going to have these anyway because you have C-PTSD, so it's going to be very confusing. But just learning to listen to your body and what it's telling you. You know, even simple things like, yeah, eating and sleeping and all that kind of stuff. So it's learning to love yourself and to love yourself as you would a child. And it's a long process. And you know, I know for myself, I sometimes think I'm not being loving enough to myself, and I'm not very good at this, and so it, you know, then that just adds shame on top of, you know, I'm not a good enough parent, and that does not help. It really doesn't help. I do this when I'm nannying too. I just shame myself because I'm thinking I'm not being a good enough nanny. But it really doesn't help. Just keep trying. Just, you know, and it takes time to even feel the love. You know, whenever I feel shame, it's like a wall. It's like the love doesn't even seem to get through. But just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And it does start to, like, I feel like, you know, feels like for me, like sometimes it sinks in a little bit more, that, you know, like after all these years, I'm really caring for myself on a, you know, emotional, physical, spiritual, level, like on all levels, mentally, you know, like all of that stuff. And yeah, it's just like learning what a child needs, and it takes time and patience and yeah, a lot of perseverance for this journey is yeah, it's very, very tough, and it's a long road. But there is possibility for healing. There really is. As messed up as I still feel, it has gotten a lot better. So yeah, it's a it's a mixed bag here, but yeah, I just want to give you a little bit of hope there too. And I'm wishing you many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.